ever tried to pull clips out of a long video and given up halfway through, this will save you a huge amount of time. Most people open up a full editing program, start scrubbing through a long video, get frustrated, and abandon the whole thing. This comes up constantly with things like long holiday videos, school performances, sports days, or big family events. Often you just want to make a short montage of the highlights because realistically, who is going to sit and watch hours of video? We just don't have the time or attention anymore. In this video, I'll show you a much faster way to do it using LosslessCut. And make sure you stay until the end because I'll show you one really useful extra thing it can do that most people miss. What is LosslessCut? LosslessCut is a very fast, very simple video clipping and trimming tool that's designed for one job, pulling clips out of longer videos quickly. The key thing that makes it different is it cuts without recoding, which basically means two things. It doesn't reduce the quality and it's incredibly fast. This isn't a creative editor. You won't find transitions, music, or effects here. It's really not about editing at all. It's about extracting. Step 1. Install LosslessCut. First, you need to install LosslessCut, and don't worry, this bit is very straightforward. There are two ways to get it. The first option is to download it for free from GitHub, which is what most people do. I'll put the link down below. Just download the version for your computer, open up the file, there's no complicated setup. The second option is the App Store version on both Apple and Microsoft stores, which is paid but slightly simpler for some people because it installs like any other app. But one thing to note is the LosslessCut version in the app stores is often a few versions behind the latest GitHub version, as they want to make sure the newer version works before releasing it into the app stores. Step 2. Loading a long video. Once you've got LosslessCut open, loading a video is incredibly simple. All you need to do is drag your video file straight into the window, or you can go to File, then Open, and select it that way. What I love here is how fast it is. Even really long videos load almost instantly, because LosslessCut isn't trying to process or analyze the whole file the way traditional editors do. So straight away, you're ready to start scanning and pulling out the bits you want. No waiting around, no timelines to set up, and no project files to worry about. If you want to see the advanced tools at the bottom of the timeline, just toggle the little icon in the bottom left. Step 3. Scan quickly for clips. Now, this is where LosslessCut really shines. The default settings are usually perfect for most people, and importantly, by default, LosslessCut keeps the section between your in and out points, which is exactly what we want when we're pulling highlights. But if you want to review or change the settings, use the setting cog in the top right-hand corner. To move through your video, you can either drag along the timeline or use the arrow keys on your keyboard to scan quickly. When you spot a moment you want to keep, just mark your in point and out point. You can use the hand in the toolbar, but it's much faster to use the shortcuts. Press I for the start and O for the end. And that's it. Your clip is selected. Then just keep scanning and marking clips for as many as you want. It is that simple. Step 4. Export clips quickly. Now, this is the really satisfying part, and this is where LosslessCut feels very different from something like Adobe Premiere Pro. In Premiere, you'd usually need to put each clip into a timeline, set in and out points, and export them one at a time, or set up some kind of workaround in a batch export everything. It works, but it definitely takes time. Once you've marked all the clips you want, you just click Export in the bottom right-hand corner. Make sure the export mode is set to produce separate files. For output, MP4 is perfect for most people, although there are plenty of other options if you need them. Then just choose where you want the file saved. I usually leave the file name format as it is, but you can change it if you want. Everything else I leave on the default settings. Click Export and LosslessCut automatically creates each clip as its own separate file. Because it's lossless, there's no quality drop and exports are incredibly fast because the video isn't being reprocessed, it's just being cut. If you're watching this and thinking, this is great, but my videos and photos are still all over the place, you are not alone. Most people don't struggle because the tools are difficult, they struggle because no one has ever shown them a clear way to organize everything first. That's exactly what I help with inside my Photo Mess Success courses. They guide you step by step through organizing your digital photos and videos, getting everything structured properly and setting things up so tools like this are actually easy to use. If you want a calm, practical process to follow, you can find out all the details at photomesssuccess.co.uk. Right, let's look at a few other ways you can use LosslessCut. Other useful ways to use LosslessCut. Once you get the hang of it, there are loads of ways that you can use LosslessCut. One of the most practical is quickly trimming long videos before sharing. If you've got awkward starts, long pauses, or messy endings, you can clean those up in seconds without opening a full editor. It's also brilliant for removing mistakes from recordings like Zoom calls, screen recordings, or talking head videos where you just want to cut out the obvious errors and move on. Another really useful one is splitting large files into smaller pieces. That makes them much easier to upload, store, or send to someone else. So, even beyond pulling highlights, it's one of those tools you'll end up using far more often than you expect. My watchouts. There are just 2 quick things I'd keep in mind when using LosslessCut. First, always work on a copy of your video rather than the original, especially when you're moving quickly. It's very reliable, but it's just good practice to keep your original safe. And second, remember, this isn't a creative editor. There are no transitions, no music, no polish tools. This is not a weakness, it's just not what it's designed for. It's about speed and simplicity. Bonus tip, extract audio from a video. One really useful extra thing that LosslessCut can do that a lot of people miss is extract just the audio from a video. It's very simple. Load your video as normal. If you only want part of the audio, just mark the in and out points the same way we did earlier. If you want the whole thing, don't mark anything at all. Then go to Export and change the format to an audio file. For most people, MP3 will work, but if you get an error like I did here, just switch to M4A, which works with most videos. Next, go to Input, click on Keeping 2 tracks and turn off the video by clicking the video icon so you're only exporting the audio. Then close the window. Finally, check the save location and file name, click Export, and LosslessCut will create the audio file for you. It's really handy for interviews, talks, voice recordings, or anything where you just want the sound without the video. LosslessCut isn't glamorous, but it's one of the fastest ways to pull clips out of long videos without wasting hours of editing. Sometimes the simplest tools are the ones you actually need. If you want to continue your photo organizing journey, then check out this little video next, where I'll show you how to organize your video files like a pro. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more photo organizing tips. Have fun rediscovering your memories. I'll see you in my next video.